Hello there, Neetcode150 this time, second round. We're doing daily temperatures now. In this daily temperatures problem, it is a very creative application of a stack. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to get the temperatures and find how many days apart until a higher temperature arises. So it takes 4 days, 1 day to find 74. 74 takes 1 day to find 75, takes 4 days to get 76, 2 days to get 72, 1 day to get 72, 1 day to get 76, and then there are no days at which temperatures are going to be higher than 76 or 73. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So what is the time complexity if we did this brute force? It is n squared, because we're gonna look for at every single point we're gonna look for the next largest number, and if it is larger, then we can return that index, the difference between the indexes. So we can speed this up. We're using a stack and get a O of n time, and the way to do that is to store the index. So by storing the index, going through each index and storing it into a stack, what we can do is process all the items that we need to process when we need to process it. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So here's our stack, and here's our results, right? Or days until higher temperature. And first let's add an item to the stack. And if we're going to add items to the stack, we need to know when to remove it. And the time when we remove it is when we see another temperature that is higher, so 74, let's say. That way, this temperature of 73, we find that that's lower, and so we can say, oh, it's the difference between 1 day because of the difference in index. Then we can insert this next new item into the stack and test the next item. Of course, we have 75, and that's another 1 day because of the difference of being 2 minus 1. So now it's 2 and 75. Next, we have 71. 71 degrees is not higher than 75, so we just keep inserting items into our stack. And now, by inserting items into a stack, we can process all of these temperatures when we have a new higher temperature that comes by. So we have 69. Well, that's our fourth index, and so that's going to go into the stack. Then what we're going to have next is 5 and 72. 5 and 72, we see that there's a difference here, and that means we can knock off this one, and that also means that we need to process these items in the correct spot. So 5 minus 4 is 1, so let's go to the fourth index, 0. This is the fourth index here. Let's make that 1. So we can delete this now, and let's process the next one. Let's see if we need to process it. Oh, we do need to process it, and that's going to be a difference of 2. Well, this is getting close to our original answer. And next, is it lower? Is this temperature higher? I mean, well, is this a higher temperature? No, then we don't process it, and that way we can just keep inserting items. So next item, please. We're gonna have 76, and that's your 6th index, and yes, that's very easy. 6 minus 5 is 1, and we're gonna have that removed, and we're gonna remove the next item from the stack, and that's 6 and 25. And so 6 minus 5 is 4, so we have that index, and we have this item in the stack now. And we're gonna add another 2 items, and we add 1 more item into the stack, 7 and 73, because that's lower temperature. And that's it. And we can return this as our answer. So, like, what clue led me on this idea of using the stack in this particular way, right? What would tell me, like, oh, let's use a stack? Well, of course, the description of this problem is a stack problem. And I mean, it's a very creative use. What would give me a sort of way of seeing this? Well, how many days away? How many can we? It's about like using information that we can remove from the stack when the time comes. And yeah, let's just do it, and then we'll get more information about it. All right, so first things first, we need a stack, and we need days until higher temperature. We're going to set that as an empty array with length of temp because we need to append, update these items at when we see them, not when we can create them. Another way to do this is use the default dictionary, and we can skip this. So what do you think? But then we have to return a array of this stuff anyways later. So yeah, I think this is better. Okay, and we need to keep the indexes in place, so this helps. Well, I mean, default dictionaries can do that as well, but yeah. Anyways, so okay, so now for I, and for I as in current index and current temp of in enumerate of this particular temperatures. And what we're gonna do is check the item in the stack. So while stack, and that the stack, this previous temperature is lower than the current temperature, then what we're gonna do is like remove it and add it into our days until higher temperature, because that's when we know that we can add it. Let's say previous temperature is equal to stack -1, 1. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, and we're gonna get our index as well. So let's just pop it immediately. I think, well, yeah. So we'll get the previous temperature and the previous index. And so then what happens is that our days until higher temperature at the previous temp index is equal to the current index minus the previous temp index. I think current temp index might be better. I mean, it's best to be as descriptive as possible. So then what we're gonna do, well, I think that's good. We have set it up properly, we have done it, and let's just and while this loop is continuing, we will just keep popping things off and adding it to our output. And lastly, when there's nothing to pop, let's add this item to our stack. So stack.append, the current temp index and the current index. And with that, we can return days until higher temp. Right. What am I doing? Current temp. What? Oh. All right, that was funny. All right, great. I think this is pretty descriptive. It just like reads out like a paragraph, hopefully. That's what we want in code. That way, the next reader can just read the code quickly and easily without making too many translations in the brain. I wanna, well, my style is I want everything to read like a paragraph. That way, it's just easy reading, quick reading. So it saves everyone time when they have to code again, like see to pick this back up. Oh, here's the concept we're using. This is what we're gonna do, and yeah. So I think making a comment, so maybe add, well, upon seeing a lower temperature, a higher temperature, update days until higher temperature. And yeah, that's it. I think there could be better wording and more times we read this code. And I think there could be better code the more times we read it, and things might not make any sense in the future, and things will make more sense in, or less sense in the future. But this is currently what it looks like. It has a lot of information, and a lot of it's very verbose at this time. But if you have any comments telling me, that will show me how to do this better, I'm glad to, like, I would be very happy to hear your feedback. And if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. If you want more videos, check the link in the description below. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.